Yo, ladies and gentlemen, and Jake. Welcome into Z and B Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast. So good to see everybody on this Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can catch us live every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Even when I'm not joined by Mr. Bricks O'Brien, I am joined by the fabulous Jakey Studs.
It's me. I'm
so
the
happy
better one.
I'm so happy you're here. I love it when you're here. We need to do more of this. We need to kick Brian off the show more often and have Jakey Studs here. And of course, if I said that to him, he'd be like, fine. I've got other things to do on Thursday night.
I was talking with Brian earlier, and he was like, I mean, if you want it.
Right? It hurts. It's like, well, what does that say about me? He's like, you, man, I'm out. I'm like, no, why? No, we love Brian. Good luck with what he's doing this week. Couldn't be more happy for him. Except when he turns to Hollywood O'Brien, and all I'm there is just to fetch him coffee. But welcome in, everybody. If you are with us live on YouTube this evening, make sure you're hitting those heart buttons. If you've not yet subscribed, to do the thing, do the subscription thing. And hey, if you're on other social media, why don't you go ahead and share out a link, because you've got us for 60 minutes here. So if you share out a link right now on your social media and get people in here, maybe more people would find the show while we're still live and want to hang out with us and have the conversation, especially in the post show, because Jakey's going to stay up late to have the post show with us. So please go ahead and share out that link. Hit those heart buttons, do all the things right now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's midnight here. Come on, guys. I'm in little old Blighty here. It's technically a new day. I'm time traveling here.
My goal is to make Jake get so excited and so loud he wakes up all the neighbors down the street. That's my goal tonight. And I feel like we're going to get spicy enough talking Star Wars and Lego and the state of Lego and all that stuff.
I thought we were talking Star Trek.
Star Trek will come later in September, when they finally decide they're going to go ahead and announce the thing that everybody already knows is happening. So let's just go ahead, because that's what the heck, like you have the leakiest ship on the internet planet. Like, y'all need to plug some holes, man, because we all know what's going on, and it's getting a little out of hand. We're doing our best not to talk about leaks and only discuss rumors, but y'all need to lock it up a little. Listen, you got people camped out on Marvel, movie sets that are thousands of yards away with telescopes out there trying to catch glimpses of Dr. Doom right on set. You don't even need that. Like, you got you got stores putting your sets on shelves months before they're supposed to. What are you doing?
I mean, Lego's getting a little bit better. I mean, Pokemon caught us all blindsided, right?
That was actually a really good point. Pokemon is a really good
that was
point.
Like 2 years ago. That was during the pandemic. We would have seen that like 6 months before that happened.
Damn it, Jake! Don't you be the voice of reason today. What are you doing?
Oh, I have a feeling, little old English boy coming in here, doing his little thing, trying to be nice. What's this? English people aren't nice with your figgy pudding and your Yorkshire rat.
This is going to be a damn trend tonight, isn't it? He's going to be the voice of reason. I'm going to be the one that's all irritated and everything, and he's going to be the voice of reason, and this is the way it's going to go. I see, your blood sausage, and we're not even going to get into it. Here's what we do need to get into. I need to know, most of you all, because he is who he is, and he's an amazing human, you all know who Jakey Stud is. But in the event that there's been somebody living under a rock all of these years, since Jakey's been on the internet and all around the internet, you don't know who Jake Studs is. Sir, will you please tell us a little bit about you, your background with Lego, okay, and where people can find you on the internet on a regular basis?
Cool. Well, my name's Jake. Jake's the name. Studs of the game. Lego studs. No None of this I mean, I talk about competitor stuff, sure, but none of it's touched my little fingies quite so yet. Nothing's piqued my interest enough to touch my fingies. I'm a content creator. I've been around the block for like the last 17-ish years. I've been doing Lego content for the last 4-ish. I've lost count now. And you can find me on all the social media platforms as Jake Studs. Some places I am active, and some places I am no longer active.
And here I thought Studs was a commentary on your magnificent face. What do I know, right? What do I know?
Well, you know.
But I appreciate you coming in. This is not the first time that Jakey's been on the show with us, and he brought. I mean, frankly, it was like one of our most celebrated episodes. Was when, and again, I don't know if this is a commentary on Brian, as more it's a commentary on Jake and how much credibility he brings to the show. So. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase.
Just because I have an accent people can understand doesn't mean it should be listened to.
People love the accent, man. It's something people love.
Harry Potter.
You know, listen. You know what? I'm just throwing this out there, and if Lego is listening, you know, maybe they'll, you know, heed my words here. I'm telling you right now. Knock knock, Lego. Listen, if you just put Jake Studs on your live events as the host, okay, it would be so much better than the travesty that we got, which was the Star Wars May event that they held this past week live for the internet. Now, I'm just going to start at the beginning here, Jake. Okay.
Go on. Start us back in a galaxy far
away. A week. Well, I'll just go a week prior to this live event. They announced that they're having it. They set a date. They set a time. We're going to unveil all of our new sets for the public to see. All of our new May the 1st sets, our Star Wars Day event, live on lego.com at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And at 9 a.m. Eastern time on that day, all of the land members posted all of their video content about all of the new sets that are coming out that they're going to announce and showcase on their live event at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then Lego posts this fantastic, by the way, marketing video showcasing their brand new UCS set, the Jango Fett Starship, which, again, lovely video. I absolutely adore what they did with that. It was very, very, very cute. I love that. I love it when Lego does stuff like that. Like that kind of marketing. I love that mark. Like, that's great. That's great marketing. I love that stuff. But literally everything was out in the open. Now, forget the fact that most of this stuff was leaked and everybody knew everything that was coming for months, whatever. Okay. But you literally took all of the steam out by having all of your land members allowed to post everything. They all did it at the exact, so you know they clearly had it like in some kind of NDA that was like, this is it. You can drop all your content right here. And I'm like sitting there going, here's the thing. If they ever, I don't think they will. If they ever invited me to land and I saw that date, and then I saw that the date that they announced was like 2.5 hours after, I'd kind of be calling somebody, I'd be like emailing like, you sure? You sure you want?
Well, that's because you're a responsible creator, Zach. You've been around the block. You know, like the productions in and out and things like that. My day job, I'm in marketing. Okay, specifically youth marketing as well. So I'm in the realms of the world of Lego and toys and all this sort of stuff, making parents cry every Christmas because Timmy's asking for something different that's too expensive. That's my fault. I apologize. But like, this just comes down to like those things come down to departments just not properly communicating with each other. Like the ambassador network in Lego, for some reason, is kind of treated as if it's an entire separate company.
Mm.
It seems to be separated from the actual marketing team, because back in the day it used to be the AFOL community outreach, and it just basically used to be one guy on an email being like, hey, adults, you guys playing with bricks still? And they used to be like, yeah. And you go, great, sweet. And then they realized that some of us are talking about it on camera. And they were like, oh, we'll send this person some Lego. Maybe they'll talk about it positively. And then that's spun into an ambassador program, which is really cool and fantastic. And, you know, it's a thing that people and companies and brands look at and they go, we want that. We want what Lego is doing. We want that special ambassadorial source. It's like, great, cool. But when they're talking about that sort of stuff, they're talking to a marketing team. They're talking to an agency. Whereas Lego seems to have just kept the AFOL department off into one side and let it just fester there and sort of do its own thing in it. It's not really communicating properly with the marketing department, because if it was, all those NDAs would have gone live at 11:30.
Well, that's what you do. And it wasn't even just that part of it too, right? They put everything on the website, and they put most of the stuff available for pre-order before that live event ever even took place. And I think back to,
It's never anyone's good fault, is it?
Well, that's so my point is like, you're in marketing. I've been in marketing. Like we've seen different events like this from other companies, right? And what's the typical timeline here is they come out, they do their presentation, and then at the end they say, and by the way, it's currently available for pre-order right now on our website or whatever, right? Like there's a plug and play feature here. Like there's an outline that has been established that there's really no reason, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. Like that's pretty good of process that you should be following here, because what's I mean, again, it's not that they're trying to push a lot of people into, the live stream. I mean, they could, but there's a way to build hype and build excitement for things. And, they didn't announce anything that, again, we didn't already know or anything like that. But, I try to stay away from leaks primarily because I have seen leaked imagery with Lego that did not look good. The Tudor corner is a prime example. I saw early leaked imagery of that, and I looked at that and I went, ugh, gross, whatever. And then like when the actual product imagery hit and I saw it, I was like, whoa. Like I've never been a modular guy, but when the actual product imagery hit, it hooked me. And I was like, that's an interesting looking freaking building. And I was like, this is kind of cool. And it ended up being my very first like true modular set that I ever built. So I still strongly say, try not to put too much stock into leaks. You never really know. You don't, whatever. Rumors are fun. That's always fun to guess and try to figure out and whatever. Those can be a lot of fun. But that's why we don't typically talk about the actual leaks and stuff on this channel, because I just don't. They're dangerous sometimes. Like they're just not. Oh. They're in. The designers, like, give them some credit. Like give them, like let them go through the process. But when their own company themselves is like kind of screwing the pooch on it, like it kind of sucks for the designer to not be able to like go out and be like, look, here's your real first look at this, not so-and-so on Instagram that just showed the box, showed everything. Oh, and by the way, they've already built it. Here's my review on it. Like, what? It just give the designers time to cook. Let them let them have their moment. And I just feel like they need to stop dropping the ball on this kind of stuff and work hand in hand with their land members and, release stuff appropriately and announce stuff appropriately and whatnot. Now, that being said, you have the event start, and The first thing that they spend 10 minutes talking about is a Star Wars helmet that came out in March. They don't even start with a product that's coming out in May.
Hey! You want new stuff? No. Keep buying current stuff, please. Thank you. Keep buying. Hey, you buy. Adults buy. Hi, Zach. Hi. Yeah, we're talking to you. Why haven't you bought this yet? Buy it, Zach. Buy it.
They spent more time talking about that helmet than they did the other two helmets that are coming out in May, which is perplexing. And it's just, I love to see them be cheeky sometimes. They did it a couple years ago with the Razor Crest, the UCS Razor Crest. It was like we all kind of knew it was coming. And again, rumors, whatever. And then they come out for their Star Wars Day event, and the designers are all wearing a Razor Crest t-shirt with like an outline of the Razor Crest, right? But they don't mention it. They don't even acknowledge they're wearing I kind of like the cheeky fun of that. I thought that was cute. And I was like, I kind of expected him to do something about a certain, not moon set potentially hitting in late October, but they didn't do that either, which was very surprising. Now, they did showcase, they finally got around to showcasing this Lego Star Wars sign. We saw something very similar to that with the Marvel sign that came out earlier this year. But it was like they kind of took a step back from it. And obviously this stuff had been already planned. It's not like they just like saw the sales of the Marvel sign and went, oh no, like, no, this was already a box. Like this was planned, right? So they out of the gate had decided the Marvel sign was going to have 5 minifigs and an exploding element where they were kind of exploding out of the thing. And it was established early on that, nope, this Star Wars sign is going to be half the price and it's just going to be the letters. That's it. That's all we're going to do is the letters.
Honestly, I think it's better for that. I do. I think it's better. A lot of people are like, what you want about Jake? Where's my figs?
I like the price point better. Yeah.
Like, come on. The Marvel sign was a big red box with some figs, but are you going to display it with the figs? No, you're not going to display it with the figs. Are the figs just going to live inside the box? Probably, if you've already got other versions of that same fig which you prefer. So now you've just got a big red box on your shelf, which honestly was a chunky ass box. Like that thing's chunky. That's taking up valuable like retail space. This, it's cute, it's fun, it's nice. It gets straight to the point. Star Wars, boom, bang, done. Stick it on your wall, stick it on your bookshelf, stick it in your bathroom, wherever. It doesn't matter. It's nice and thin. It's compact. It's great. This is what you want for a sign for pop culture enthusiasts, for gifting to people. They don't want any of the fancy poppy out stuff. They don't want it. This is a great gift for a super fan of Star Wars. Like, they could be like, Legos for children. You'd be like, what about Star Wars? And they're like, yeah, all right, I'll put that in the background of my Zoom call. I'll do that. Fine. Yeah. Okay. Like, this is perfect.
I'm kind of with you. I liked them removing the figures from it and lowering the price. We went from 931 pieces on the Marvel sign, which included those 5 figures, which didn't include Hawkeye for whatever weird reason, at $100, and we lost, 231 pieces, all of the minifigures, and we went down $40. I mean,
sounds like a win-win.
I know. I'm kind of, because here's the thing. We've all got Star Wars figures. If you're buying this sign, you've got, unless you were going to put some really exclusive minifigs, which is what they didn't do with the Marvel sign. If you're going to put some really exclusive minifigs with it, fine, right? But we've all got Star Wars stuff. You could, in a way, like kind of create your own, display with your minifigs in front of. Like, I like that
This would look
idea.
great. Can you imagine like those like minifig racks where they're sort of all
and that's
tiered
the
up, and then this
backdrop
is at the
for
top at
it.
a slight
Yeah.
slant, like the text going through.
Yeah.
That would look amazing.
And I don't like getting into the whole idea of you're asking your Lego fans to mock up stuff that already. You're not really mocking anything up. We're just talking about how you could creatively use it in a display. Like, that's all we're talking about. Like, we're talking about using stuff that you already have with the minifigs and just putting them in front of this set, and
AFOLs, use your imagination. Guess what? Toys can be played with.
Toys can be played with. So yeah, I'm kind of with Jake on this one. No, is this a day one purchase for me? Absolutely not, unless I'm trying to hit some kind of GWP threshold, which we'll get to in a little bit. But like, I think it was the smarter move. I still think it's probably about $10 too much, but I feel like it's the smarter move.
Life is $10 too much.
I know. Again, inflation, whatever. But I think lowering that piece count, removing the figures, dropping that price, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad. I'm really glad and thankful that they did that there. So as far as the Star Wars signs go, and the shaping of it, I mean,
it's beautiful. It's exact.
The Star Wars sign, like it.
Yeah,
they nailed it. Like, it looks great.
That Marvel logo, you could tell, like, there's a little bit of like weird geometry going in there to make that fit. This looks like great. You can't make this better.
The curvy nature of the letters, they did just a magnificent job with it. Well, then they finally get around to actually talking about the actual helmets that they are going to be releasing on May 1st, and they decided to stop talking about the helmet that they've already released and has been on shelves for 2 months, right? So they get to the Jango Fett helmet, and I'll tell you, the Jango Fett helmet, which again ties into the UCS set that they're releasing, it's a Mandalorian helmet. We've seen it with the Mando helmet. We saw it with it's a recolor of the Boba Fett helmet, like. Whatever. The thing that got me the most was I remember a time when these helmets were coming with printed pieces only, and that was what made them that increased the value of them a little bit, right? It felt like it was you're paying for the quality, right? Like, you're paying for that extra effort. And then they started taking a step back from that, and they were like, no, we are going to put some we're going to put some stickers in there. We are going to put some more stickers in there. Oh, by the way, we're going to put a whole sticker sheet in there. Like, and then it was like, well, but the price didn't adjust. Like, we're still paying a premium price for less quality of what we were getting. And that's when I start to have a problem. And Jango here is that same example where instead of doing printed pieces around the crown of his helmet, they just did a big line of 14 flipping stickers all the way around that helmet. Gross. And even in their display,
you just like bought it at the premium prices anyway. Once you started buying it and they were popular, they got you. They're not going to turn around and be like, oh, you paid $60 for this. How about paying $45 for a recolor of the same thing? They're not. No. They know you guys are going to buy it at the exact same price as it was before. The only way that this could have actually been a better helmet, I think, is if this was at least on the outward-facing pieces, if they were done with brushed silver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not asking for chrome. We don't want shiny pieces. That's going to make it like $300 a helmet. No one wants that for that size. Can't even wear it for $300. Screw that. No, just give us some brushed silver. Give it some dimension to it. It's so flat as an image.
It just falls in line with the other ones, and the fact that they can even get the dome style with Lego again is still a testament to the designer. But again, they're not reinventing the wheel here. They've done this exact helmet. They've just had to change the color of the piece. Like, this is the exact same helmet that we've seen. I still stand by, and they teased us with it with these new Marvel sets coming out with the busts, where they're giving us a little exclusive minifig. I still stand by my statement when they released that AT-AT driver, when they brought the line back after being gone for a year, they brought it back. I said, you missed the boat. Like, this was an opportunity to increase the value, even though I understand your point, to increase the value and say, we're going to give you an exclusive minifig that goes along. Like, there is going to be a Django fig. Now, I don't know how that affects the UCS set, right? But could you imagine if that was your entry point? This helmet was your entry point for a Django figure, as opposed to the UCS Django Fett Starship this season. That would have been an interesting dilemma to have. And
put it in two sets at launch together would have been potentially problematic, but like, we're gonna get that Django in a cheaper set later down the line. Lego have made conscious efforts to start putting exclusive figs in
allegedly
smaller
exclusive.
And cheaper. Pardon?
Allegedly exclusive. T-shirt available in the merch store.
Yeah. Yeah. They've started putting them in smaller, more accessible sets, because there were also, like, not just adults, but kids also want to be collecting these figures, and parents can't go out spending 250 quid just for Timmy to be like, oh, I've got my Django Fett now, and I don't want to, I'm going to go play with this and the box, nothing else. It's like, you better go build that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I totally agree with you. I'm trying to help, Lego, not that they're listening. I'm trying to help them, come up with a better way to provide some added value to a line that, is yeah, like you said, we're hooked because we've started collecting them, and there's going to be a glaring hole in our collection if we don't pull the trigger on these, right? And that sucks. And that's when the FOMO sets in, and they know they got their collectors out. They know their collectibles now, and they know that's the audience that they're pushing towards. And so, they're just going to, they don't need to, at least right now at our buying habits, don't need to give us any added value, because we're buying them anyway. And I feel like it's going to come to a point where somebody, including myself, is going to have to make a decision, like, the collectability of it isn't enough for me to keep continuing down the same path. And maybe we're finally getting to that breaking point. So we gave us stickers.
Maybe adults should learn to play.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. They gave us stickers with Django. I was terrified with the idea of this Kylo Ren helmet, but they didn't go that route, and they actually made it a point to tell us that these are printed pieces. I actually love. It was one of my favorite parts in the whole event presentation was somebody asked, or Boone asked one of the designers. So these are. Somebody from the chat is asking if these are printed or stickers, and they were like, on the Kylo Ren helmet, like, they didn't even acknowledge Django. They just said, on the Kylo Ren helmet, we have nothing but printed pieces. Like, that was the way they worded it, because they know they have 14 flipping stickers around that Django helmet.
That's someone in an ear being like, don't talk about the stickers.
Yeah.
The adults hate the stickers. Don't talk about the stickers.
The stickers are Bruno in this point, I guess, in this sense. So, Kylo, I personally think, I've heard some people kind of knock the Kylo Ren helmet shaping. I've heard some people say it wasn't even their favorite helmet out of all of Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. I think they nailed it. I like it. I think the print looks great. I'm personally a sequel trilogy fan, so like that, I'm loving Kylo Ren here. The big stickler though is that Kylo Ren MIDI ship. Yikes. That thing.
Big plates.
What's that?
Big plate chip. That's what I call it. It's just the big plate chip. That's all you're getting in this. You're just getting plates and 1x2 trans red plate. That's it. That's the only bit in it. No, that's it.
I'm gonna have you explain, but because Jake and I talked about this in our pre-show meeting, but I was looking at all the other MIDI ships that fit that. Like I'm leaving that MIDI Falcon out of it because that MIDI Falcon that they came out with last year, dude, that's a nice big chunky set with a lot of pieces, and that price is justified. I'm fine with the MIDI Falcon, like whatever. I was looking at what the MIDI ships they currently still have available on their website. You have the Tanta V4 at 654 pieces at $80. 654 pieces. Just want to reiterate, $80 US. These are all US prices. The Executor, 630 pieces. So 24 pieces less. 24 pieces less at $70. So $10 less, 24 pieces less. 24 pieces less, $10 less. Then you've got the Home 1 MIDI ship at 59 pieces. 559 pieces. So now we are 100 pieces less than where we started at $80. 100 pieces less than where we started at $80 for $70. So it's the same price as the Executor, but with like 70 pieces less. What are we doing? Okay. So then we get into the Invisible Hand at 557 pieces, 2 pieces less than the last set we just talked about, which was $70 for ignore the stupid things. So 2 pieces less. It's balloons everywhere at $50. 559 pieces, $70. 557 pieces, $50. 2 pieces less, $20 less dollars. Okay. Then we get to this thing at 386 pieces, the least amount of pieces out of any of the MIDI ships that they've done, back up to $70. So we were making progress, coming down in price. And then all of a sudden we shot right back up to $70 for half the piece count of the Executor. Just make it make sense, Lego. How does this work, Jake?
I mean, Lego are never going to and do not need to explain themselves to people like us. Like, we are small fries in a world that they know someone out there is going to buy it at this price no matter what. They could stick an extra zero on the end of this. Someone out there would buy it. The only thing I can think of is it does come down to how manufacturing works, and I can only assume that there must be something in the process of making thin, wide plates just must be more complicated, probably because you can get you get less out of the same process. Like, if you're making a process of like 2x4 bricks, you can get 6 out of those in one injection thing. Can you get 6 plates? Probably not. You're probably only getting a plate every time. So the process of making said plates are more expensive. Plus, it's the big bad guy ship. So you have to pay the big bad guy price.
Oh my God.
I mean, the AFOL community love to talk about an IP tax. IP tax this, IP tax that. Oh, they're going crazy, the greedy corporates with their thing. And they are going crazy, the greedy corporates. But also, big bad guy prices means big bad guy ships.
I suppose. This MIDI ship just, man, it just angers me. It just angers me that they are taking, boy, I've been warning Lego about this, since last year, man. You got to stop, because
I love the idea of you warning Lego, like you're writing handwritten letters
I have been
to them, sending them off.
worded letters to them in Denmark. First of all, get a calendar. Second of all, stop taking advantage of your fans because they will eventually turn on you. Eventually they will. It may take a short amount of time.
I think that it's going to be quite a lot for an A-fold to turn on Lego. Like you have to be really sort of bitter deep and down, I think, to be like, grr, the people who make a children's toy aren't listening to the adults. Grr.
I will stand by this. People will have to make eventually, especially in the current economy we live in, are going to have to start making decisions. And when it's harder to justify a collectible because of the price and what you're actually getting out of it over and over and over and over again, which is what they've been asking us to do lately, people will start to, and if you still need to scratch that itch, of, I want to have a 3D style puzzle that is a toy that can display really well. Guess what? I know Jake said at the top of the show that he hasn't really gotten his fingers into other studs, but there are other studs out there and they are starting to get really darn good. And people are starting to find them. And so you gotta, other than IP, you gotta keep people around. I'm going to throw it out there. Like, Star Wars isn't necessarily the most healthy IP right now on the surface. Now, we're currently having Star Wars Celebration out in Japan. I'm assuming the numbers are good and people are out there having a good time and all this and that. And we've got Andor around the corner, which we'll get to in a second. But, like, we haven't seen a film in a long time at this point, right? Like, this sequel trilogy was the last bit of films that we kind of got, and it didn't leave a really good taste in a lot of people's mouths. I liked them. I thought they were great. I'm still a fanboy, whatever.
Episode 8 is my favorite film.
Yeah.
Episode 8 is still my favorite film.
See, this is why Jake and I vibe so much. But if you're going to start putting a premium price on a premium bad guy ship that came from a series of films that weren't as celebrated as, let's say, the original trilogy.
Do you know why they weren't celebrated as much, Zach? Do you know why?
I have thoughts.
It's because adults ruin everything. Just like Lego, A-folds ruin everything. They're like, yes, Lego's expensive. Fine, okay. We all 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
That's probably like as much as you can complain about, like, the price. I don't think you can complain about the price to piece ratio and things like that, because it's never going to be the idyllic 10 cents a piece sort of thing.
Price per piece ratio has been thrown out the window for years now, man. Like, they got so many.
People still do it, though. People still do it.
It's all over.
They're like, oh, it's $400,000 a piece now. It's getting ridiculous. It's just plastic. Yeah, well, it's plastic. Guess what? There's not a lot of plastic left because we're moving to better versions of sustainable materials and stuff like that. So, like, things like this need investing into. And guess what? You're paying for it in your big bad guy prices and your big bad guy ships.
I mean, I'm with you. I feel like there's obviously something behind the scenes that is driving. Like, I can't imagine people in Denmark are not just staring at a spinning dartboard, throwing darts at price. Like, there's a reason.
But no, have you met a Dane?
All right, maybe it is happening. I don't know. But regardless, this is where we are now. So just to refresh here, Star Wars sign 2 helmets, okay, for a toy company. 3 display sets. That's where we are right now. Finally, we get to what kind of could be a toy set, a play set. I don't know. Kinda, maybe not. It really isn't, but it's still in a play. They're not putting in an 18 plus. All these other sets have 18 plus on them, right? Like, this is a toy. This is not in an 18 plus set. In their marketing, they have a kid building with their dad, kind of thing, right? Okay. Chopper, we've all been waiting for Chopper. All have been waiting for
Love a Chopper.
Love a Chopper. And regardless if this is a toy set or not, this set looks phenomenal. Lots of stickers. Fine, whatever. I don't care. This is great. I cannot wait to add him. He scales with the R2 we got, with the C-3PO, with the Chewbacca. It's all working really, really. I love this new play scale style sizing that they've got for these guys. It's working really, really well.
Yeah. Oh, A-Foles ruin everything.
A-Foles ruin everything. Why now? Okay, and this is the same. This is the same. No. This is the same problem I had with the TIE Interceptor that we got last year, in the midst of all of the celebration that we should have been doing for the 20th anniversary in the Phantom Menace. Okay, releasing. There just needs to be, I guess, some logic behind this. So Chopper, Kylo Ren, Django. Okay, Django's starship. A Luke brickhead, okay, have nothing to do with Revenge of the Sith, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary.
But Zach, at right at the top of this particular segment, you were like, "We've all been waiting for it." That's why they. Okay, that's why they did it.
No. Let me. I'm gonna ask you to put your marketing hat on. Okay, last year. Right? Was it last year? We got that new Ghost ship. How dope. Because you know some designer has this damn thing done. You know it's done. You know it's sitting somewhere and it's just wait. How dope would it have been if this year if they weren't going to put anything out for Revenge of the Sith, fine, as a UCS set. How dope would it have been if a UCS Ghost had been released this year with a buildable chopper along with it on May 1st? How sick would that have been? Oh my gosh, now we're marketing.
It would have been sick, but also what you're talking about there is predictability. No one wants predictability in their marketing. They want to be edgy. They want to be cool. And this is they did the Ghost last year. They've got the Chopper this year. It's sustaining a story is what it is. It's a little bit for everyone. And you are the ones who are asking for it. Why'd they release this now? Well, because you keep telling them to release it. Come on!
I just want it to make sense. I want the timing to make sense. Now, here's why. Okay, fine. I'll give you Chopper. Okay.
Thank you. Do you want my address?
Yes. There's another buildable droid that is rumored to be coming out later this year that goes along with a television show that is releasing this weekend. What are we doing, Lego? Why are you going to give me this buildable droid when you've got a tie-in to a television show that's coming out in just a week? You could be releasing both this Andor U-Wing set as a play set and the buildable K2SO all on May 1st to go along with the television show that's debuting on Disney Plus that it's tied to. Once again, sorry for wearing a marketing hat, but it all makes sense.
Well, take it off because it's useless on you. Because I think that in this, for that particular thing that you just spoke about, this rumored droid, whatever it is, blah, 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 that there will be thousands of brands around the world all wanting to release their Andor-based merchandise and gimmicks and gizmos and all sorts of things. There's people at Lucasfilm, people at Disney, they've got their heads on and they know we can put a buck or two on this. We can start a bidding war of who gets to release their Andor stuff first. Where's the pecking order? You know, they're going to be fighting for rights to release the merch in time with the TV show because they want their first kick share of the thing. This is what the Lego reviewers on YouTube always complain about. Oh, the land, it's such a disadvantage. The land members get the sets months in advance and they get to prepare their content and all and I only get 4 hours to go to Toys R Us and try to headbutt a set together and make a video so I can try to make money. Yeah, well, guess what? The same thing happens in regular merchandise. So there's a bidding war to who gets to release it first. Lego probably doesn't care that much, and to be honest, neither should anyone else.
It's just, I don't know. The like I said, I don't, maybe I should just take the marketing hat off, but the logical salesman in me says you release stuff with the content, to have that cross promotion, and not when stuff is, no longer relevant, because then maybe it doesn't sell nearly as well.
Is it not going to be? Is it going to be irrelevant though, or is it going to be your thing is the last thing that the Andor fans must get because it's the last thing to release?
It'll probably be irrelevant. The chopper. Here's why I say this. The chopper has because it didn't hit with the Ghost, because it didn't hit with the Ahsoka show, because it's whatever, and the next time we're going to see Chopper in live action or anywhere is going to be years down the road. Like, there's Choppers on no timeline. So there's no reason to release him in May when you have another droid that's packaged, built, ready to rock and roll out the door. Like, there's just no reason to do it. Like, it just, if you
kept asking, stop asking then. Let Lego do what they want to do and stop being adults about a children's toy. AFOLs ruin everything.
We do. Because you know why? We pay a premium for these products. And if we want to continue to pay a premium for the products and keep them in business, which is what we do, because they've seen when the audience turned on them back in the early 90s and they weren't doing so hot. And it was Star Wars that brought them back, along with Bionicle. But
thank you. Thank you.
But they've experienced a time, and I feel like they've kind of forgotten that's who they are, and that's who they were, and they should, it's one thing to ask for it. Yeah, sure. I'm not saying don't give it to us. I'm just saying give it to us at an appropriate time when it all makes sense. When it helped.
You said it was an appropriate time years ago when you were demanding it from them. When is the appropriate time?
Well, I mean, shoot, it would have been nice to have it when the Ahsoka was on television, when, the Ghost came out. That would have been dope to see.
It would have been dope to have it when the original Rebels cartoons were out.
Well, that would have been nice, but I mean, shoot, we all know how ugly some of those early, like, I mean, you remember the old, like, R2, like the buildable R2 that was like that old one? I mean, the last UCS set, the redone UCS R2 was really nice, other than the neck thing was kind of tough. But I like the style of this that they've kind of gone to. I really do like it.
Yeah.
Now this runs the line of a play set. Like I said, it could, it's not an adult set, but Lego spent that entire event. They talked about their new UCS Django set. They talked about their chopper. They talked about their helmets. They talked about their MIDI ship. They didn't once mention any of the brickheads that they had, which is fascinating to me because they had them all sitting out on the table, but they didn't even look at them. They didn't pretend like they didn't exist. They had these two random Grogu looking things that they didn't even acknowledge either, which we found out later was because of a what do they call it? The build and take events. Yeah. So they were gonna, they had an event that they were planning. They had the actual like buildable thing that you were going to be able to do at said event. But during their live stream, we're not even going to acknowledge them or mention said event because, the marketing geniuses that Lego has in their back pockets don't seem to know what it is that they're doing.
I don't think that's down to the marketing people in that regard. I think it's Lego's inability to put on a live stream.
I want heads. But anyway, so you have, regardless, you still have these brickheads. Those are displays. Those are not play sets. Those are display sets. Yes, kids can build them, but kids, I mean, I kind of treat, I don't know if you treat brickheads this way. I treat them kind of like the new pops, or not new pops, but like they're my new pops. Instead of collecting pops, I collect brickheads now, right? So they're lovely, and the one only thing that we have available to us that is in remote way celebrating Revenge of the Sith are the Brickhead set of 5. Looks great. No Obi-Wan for some weird reason. I mean, you got to pick and choose, right? Like you got an Anakin, you got a Padme, Emperor, Grievous, which I love that we got a Grievous with it. Got a Mace Windu. Okay. Fine, we're missing Obi-Wan, one of the main players. Obviously, a Yoda would have been nice. Would have been nice to see like an Obi-Wan Yoda double pack, like later on. Like we've seen that with like Lord of the Rings do those dual packs, right? Like it would have been nice. Like you have your 5-pack, and then maybe as a separate 2-banger, you got an Obi-Wan and a Yoda. But nope, they gave us Luke Skywalker and his Rebel or his X-Wing pilot gear for some weird reason. Bizarre.
It looks dope.
It
like
looks
out
great.
Of all of them, the Luke Skywalker looks freaking dope.
Yeah, they all look great. But again, it's just one of those things. It's like, I don't know why. By the way, we never got a Attack of the Clones like series. Like, so we got Phantom Menace last year, right? And then we get Revenge of the Sith this year. We never got the Attack of the Clones like big pack.
Well, they've got to give adults something to complain about.
Oh, okay. Well, this works then. The one thing that they left, which is the one true playset that they actually have in their Star Wars lineup as a toy company for release on Star Wars Day, they didn't even acknowledge existed on that table during that live event. And that's the U-Wing. Interesting note on the U-Wing, though. I like the original one better. I think they kind of went backwards in this one, kind of like what they did with that new tumbler with the Batmobile tumbler. But that's beside the point. It got me thinking about Andor in general. Now, have you watched Andor? Are you?
Yes.
Okay. Would you consider Andor kid friendly?
I mean, it's definitely more in sort of storylines. It is definitely more sort of complex and a bit more thematically darker and stuff like that. But I mean, Star Wars fundamentally has to be able to be watched with your children. It's Daddy John and little Timmy sat next to each other going, look at the spaceships go whoosh. Like, I wouldn't say it's inappropriate, but I would definitely say it's parental guidance. Like, you're going to have to answer a lot of questions about life and why people are doing things afterwards, but you're gonna have to answer those questions eventually anyway. So why not do it with lightsabers and guns and Star Wars and spaceships?
Let me rephrase a little bit. Do you think that it can carry kids' attention?
The show? Yeah, I probably would have loved that.
You would have loved it at 8 years old?
Yeah, sure, but also I'm autistic, so things could go in multiple directions.
It's just fascinating because my son didn't get into it, and that's obviously my barometer for something like this, right? And he loves Star Wars, but it was too slow sci-fi as opposed to fantasy. Like Star Wars is more of that space fantasy kind of vibe. This was more slow sci-fi, very 80s old sci-fi too, right? Which again, I was digging. I thought it was great. It's just fascinating that the one playset that we got, as opposed to something that's celebrating Revenge of the Sith or anything like that, is in fact tied to a current IP that's being ready to roll out. I love thanks Lego. Look at you looking at a calendar and releasing a set. That makes sense. It was just interesting that it is a show that I wondered if the playset that applies to 8-year-olds is a show that actually applies to 8-year-olds as opposed to like a Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, like some of the other Disney Plus shows that apply more to that skew younger.
The Mandalorian and Ahsoka applies more than Andor. I would say Mandalorian and Ahsoka are as probably slow as Andor. The only difference is there's no vroom vroom lightsabers in Andor.
I mean, I would.
And they'll probably get as dark. There's a lot of like dark thematic things that you would probably have to explain to a young kid in Mandalorian and in Ahsoka. Like the amount of grief and loss that goes through those stories is incredible.
But Andor turns all that up to 11 compared to those shows.
Exactly, but still. Like the real difference, the lack of lightsabers. This set is put out for the adults to buy their children so that they can have something that they can relate to when they do sit Timmy down next to them and go, "We're gonna watch the Andor," and they go, "Ah, it's boring." It's like, "Yeah, but you have that Lego set." They go, "Okay, I like Lego. Will I see the ship in it? Maybe."
So
Probably not.
the big point I wanna make here on the U-wing side of things is we're looking at a 594 piece set at $70, 3 minifigures, 1 K2SO thing. 594 pieces, $70. Remember that Kylo Ren shuttle that we just talked about? That's 386 pieces at $70. What's the better buy here, Jake? What again? Make it make sense, Lego. That's all I'm asking. Just make it make sense.
I mean, the better buy is the me wing, not the wing, the me wing. The better buy is the me wing.
Just make it make sense. I think when you look at that price and you say, okay, it's 594, whatever. You look at the set's smaller than the previous version, and whatever price, but when you compare it to what they're currently releasing, you're like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. Which is kind of unfortunate. My biggest issue out of all of it, though, is that this is the only true playset that we got out of an entire Star Wars lineup. And if I go back to George Lucas, Star Wars is for kids. What are we doing, Lego? Lego is now showing more and more that they are following the money, which they're a business, fine, whatever. But they are making display sets and they are making adult sets, and they continue to push further and further back the idea that they are a toy company and making stuff for kids. There are a lot of play sets that they could have incorporated into this lineup that I know that they have to have in their catalog, in their designer catalog, and they just purposefully chose not to. Why?
I mean, Lego doesn't need to explain themselves to anyone about any of their decisions, and they're never going to either. Could they release more playsets? Sure. Are they going to release more playsets? Yes. May the 4th means nothing to Timmy. It means almost nothing to Timmy. So the audience for it is AFOL related. AFOLs understand what May the 4th means as a Star Wars AFOL. So just going, hey, look, this is what you're going to probably buy your kid for Christmas. There you go. Here's a heads up. Start saving now because you're going to need to. Other than that, like, I mean, Lego have plans with what they are doing, and they have very much outspoken recently about bringing the gaming market back in house, and they've got a new division that started up called the GAME division, which is the Gaming and Metaverse Experience division, and it's full of marketers and designers and game developers and all this sort of thing. I think you will probably start to see more playsets coming from original IPs connected to video games, which Lego controls, and Lego have licenses and all that sort of stuff all coming out of that, then you will do seeing around special events like May the 4th, because again, Timmy not know May the 4th, but Timmy know what Fortnite is.
Yeah, but we see, you see this trend, right? And then you start hearing rumblings about Monkey Kid going away. You start hearing rumblings about Dreams going away, original IPs that are exclusively for kids, right? And now you start really questioning, is Lego not necessarily forgetting who they are? They know who they are, but they are very much looking at their financials, those financial reports going, our audience is 18 plus. And it bums me out because again, it's a toy that I grew up with, and that's why I'm an AFOL, right? It's because I grew up with the toy side of it. And if you stop providing those toys because you're chasing the buck with the adults, you're not gaining an audience. That my son could care less about Lego right now because I got a house full of it, but the sets aren't for him. That sucks.
Maybe just stop buy your kids some sets. Stop hogging all the Lego, Zach. Jeez.
I try, but he doesn't care about the adult style sets. He doesn't care about those. The play sets aren't interesting enough for him to entice him right now, and they're putting a lot of effort in the adult sets. And that's what, again, I'm using him as a barometer to show me where the market is, and it's fluctuating in a wrong way when it comes to the kids because Lego's following their financials. Again, they're a business. I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. I just worry about the future. That's all.
As far as Monkey Kid and Dreams, though, like supposedly disappearing, I mean, Dreams has had, 3 years? Monkey Kid's had 5. This isn't the first time Lego has gotten rid of a theme doing short term. I mean, just in the year since we've been making AFOL-based content, how many themes have we seen have short shelf lives? Not for any particular reason other than that was it. That was all we decided to make. We decided to try something. We sold a bunch of stuff. We're trying something new. Moving on.
Speaking of moving on, my God, an hour just goes like that. And that's because we have a fantastic co-host today, Jakey Studs, in the house. Jakey, where can everybody find you on the internet so they can continue these conversations with you?
Well, you can find me all over the internet, Blue Sky, or Threads, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and mostly you can find me on Twitch under Jake Studs. And also, I'm going to be at TwitchCon this year, doing another workshop with Set to Build and Cranky Bricks. So if you're going to TwitchCon EU, or if you're thinking about maybe going, get a Sunday ticket. Come along to our little workshop at 10:30 in the morning and come hang out with a bunch of brick building AFOLs and build some stuff.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Jake, for filling in tonight. I appreciate you. Stayed up late. Guys, we will be doing a short little post show like we normally do with our live audience. If you are with us live, make sure you hang out after the show. Stick around with you guys for a little bit and continue more of this topic and conversation. But if you're not with us live, thank you so much for watching us or listening to us on all of your podcast channels like Spotify or Apple Podcast. Make sure you drop a like, leave a comment, thumbs up, hearts, all of those things, and share out links to your favorite Unfiltered Lego podcast. Jakey Studs, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you. We appreciate all of you, and we will catch you guys next time. Jake, welcome back anytime, my dude. Thank you so much. Bye. And that is how you close out a show, everybody. Guys, what do you think about Jakey? Should he just replace Brian, or frankly, should he just replace me? Should we just have Brian and Jake, and it can be the Bricks and Studs show? I keep pushing for it. I keep thinking like that's where this. I'll just produce from the background. I have no problem. You don't need to see this ugly mug. I'll just leave the two beautiful people on the thing. Brian who? Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I feel sorry. Like, let's talk about the live show just a little bit, because we didn't have enough time to like talk about the actual production of the live show. As live streamers ourselves, as people in the production world ourselves, there is so much Lego can do better with those live streams. I feel sorry for Boone. Boone was 100% the right choice out of all of the designers. He has on-camera experience. He has live streaming experience. He knows how to talk. He knows how to interact with the chat. He knows how to sort of interact with people IRL and show off a product. This is what he used to do before becoming a Lego designer himself. Boone works best, though, when he has someone to bounce off. I've been in live streams with Boone, and Boone is best when you go, hey, Boone, look at this. You know, you kind of poke around a little bit. You do a little sing-song. You dance. You throw a couple of jazz hands out there. And suddenly Boone comes alive, and you've got a really exciting show on your hands. But when you've got some Technic designers being like, yeah, so we made the stand by doing this, and if you turn the ship around, you've got these 4 bricks that look like a plasma bomb. Isn't that cool? And Boone's like, yeah, it's cool. Like, what else can Boone do in that situation?
Right.
But like, on a production level, Lego really need to Lego have access to LAN members to make the live streams at least entertaining. LAN members who would fly out to Denmark to do this for free.
Oh yeah,
just to be on Lego's website live streaming.
And
they don't do them. They don't use them.
That's look, there's only honestly there's only a few LAN members that are good at live production. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why a lot of them are on YouTube, is because they like having those ability to have multiple takes. And you know, it's a very interesting art form to be able to sit and talk to somebody or vamp or whatever in front of a live studio audience or live on camera or whatever. Like there's a very specific skill set for that, and not all of those people have, and they'll admit it, like they don't have that ability or that desire even to do so. I don't remember the live show last year, as Millennium Kuma is pointing out. I don't really remember it either. Is that a bad thing? Does that mean it was just so? Because wait, was last year's May show was the year for the Razor Crest, right? Or am I thinking, or is that 2 years ago? Probably. I don't know. I mean, that's the last one I remember, is the one that I had all the designers wearing that freaking Razor Crest shirt just to troll us. I think wasn't that LegoCon? Did they do that at LegoCon? Maybe. Well, they had like an actual production, which they should have kept up that production style. Yeah. And that kind of audience hype and that sort of the last presenting style and things like that. But the craziest thing to me is, why is Lego with these live stream events so stuck in, for some reason, making it vertical? Oh, that I have no idea. I have no idea. Why? Like, I understand that's probably the idea of like, we want people to be able to access it, like, on their phones, but people know how to turn their phones around. And also, they're doing it at like midday in America, which is one of their largest markets. Timmy's in school. Timmy's not watching this. Right. Which could be a valid point. It's all the a-holes on, like, pretending to work. That could be a valid point of why they're not showing us any playset, because Timmy's not watching. It's all the adults that are at work walking on their computer. Now, but that's actually an interesting point, though. Like, they did vertical, but like they weren't multi-streaming anywhere. It was only on Lego.com. So I'm like, it makes sense if like you're maybe going out to TikTok Live, or you're going out to Instagram Live, and you're using some of these vertical formats, your YouTube Shorts, even whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're using the vertical format, but you're on your own website. Like, you can do what you want. It doesn't even save retail space. It doesn't save bandwidth. It doesn't save anything on a technical level, apart from the headache of framing it to fit in a thin window. I'm perplexed by. I was perplexed by that from the beginning. I thought for sure it was going to be, live streamed on other platforms, and then they've done it a couple of times like that, where they've done these live streams and they're vertical and locked onto their platform. And I get the locking onto their platform. They are a
kid-friendly brand. They have to monitor chat properly. They have to make sure it's a safe space. Hence why when you go in and you were commenting, there was no login process. There was no using usernames. And I'm pretty, you have to be damn sure that message box checklist of words you can and cannot say is tight. Like that, like they've got an algorithm making sure that the AFOLs were not spamming the stuff they really wanted to say. But like, why make it vertical? Like most other things make sense. Why make it vertical? And also, who does your live stream lighting? Because hire a lighting engineer. It was dark as hell in there. Why couldn't I see things?
I just the overall production. They need a producer. They need a live event coordinator. They probably have all these. I'm assuming they do, but I just don't understand how a multi-billion-dollar company can't handle live production like this. It blows my mind that they can't do something. I don't know, with better production value than this.
Zach. Content's always the last thing. Content is always the last thing to be considered. No matter how much lead time there is, it's always the last thing. And it's always the thing where people like me and you, the producers of this world, the production assistants, the camera people, are like, oh, by the way, next week you're doing a live stream. It's like, where? What time? What are we streaming? Where are we streaming to?
Oh my
Who
God.
are you?
Lego couldn't make content click. Oh my God. They I just
You sound so sad.
I am, and it sucks because it's like I love the hobby and I love the product when it's done right. And I can get so excited when it's done right. But you really are coming up on a time where people are going to have to start making hard choices about hobbies and things and whatnot. And times are getting tough for everybody out there. And now people are facing things like tariffs all over the place, and costs are going up because of it, and all this other junk. And I just don't think it's a time. I think it's a time where you really should be. You're doubling down on the IPs you're bringing in, like double down on the production quality in which you're delivering the messaging.
I think we will see a reflection of economic times a bit later on. We're still very much in the beginning. Like prices and all this sort of stuff, they've been locked in for a year and a half at this point. They're not sitting around waiting for, the day before it's announced to set the price for these things. So I think there will be some reflections on that later on. Content is always the last thing to be considered, though, and it sucks. But also, Lego has proven it can do it with their own fan channel, the Lego Builds Instagram. Absolute popping over there. The team behind that, who got that sign off and like, we're gonna make these cool things. Oh, the content they're making on there is fantastic. It hits every point almost perfectly, and you don't want to hit every point perfectly because then you actually make bad content because it's flat, it's boring, it's whatever. But it's interesting enough and just a bit off hinge enough, and it's playful enough where an AFOL can watch it and be like, this is really interesting. The kid can watch it and be like, whoa, I didn't know that this was, like this. And like you can make Lego into bumper carts and put it on the robot vacuum that dad says I can't play. Well, I'm now gonna turn into a space alien that's gonna go fighting dust. Like, they're killing it over there. So why not bring that team into live streaming? Bring that team elsewhere. You can do it. It's there. They're just not utilized.
They would do better. They would do better with the live stream side of things if they just rolled video. Like, you come back to Boone, to recap what we just watched, right? But it's all pre-produced stuff. They do that with LegoCon, and it's not always the best, but like that it's the same type of vibe with these live events. Like you showcase these new sets in great creative ways, like the Django UCS Django Fett, promo video that they did. It was beautiful. It was a great promo video. It's a great way to do that kind of thing. And then you can kind of recap it. You can show the physical model there real quick. And at that point, maybe you can do a quick run around with it. But, I just don't like as far as show flow goes. Like, I don't understand what they were doing, man. They left so much on the table. Like they just didn't acknowledge it existed. Why they chose what they chose.
They announced the book, the insider point for the book thing. And then there was clearly someone in Boone's ear going, "No, it's not me. It's today and tomorrow only." And then you go on the website and it's not even there.
Once again, it's you sit there and you do that, and then you have a Star Wars centric book that has no promotion around May. I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
also technically out of date now as well. Just put that thing on.
Well, we knew that was going to be out of date as soon as the way it's presented. It's more of a look back anyway. Like it's a history of, and that's fine. Like that's one of those style of it, and that's totally. You'll have volume 2 come out in 10 years. Like fine, whatever. But just the way they handled that book was just an absolute tragedy. And for not just on the way they handled it on the live stream, but the way they actually, like, the fact that it was only going to be available for those 2 days as triple insider point. We're doing a triple insider points. Yay! By the way, you got to do it in the next 2 days. What?
But there was also nothing on the website. You go to the book, there was nothing on the books page. You had to put it in your basket and then go, that looks like 3 times the amount of points it said on the page where I clicked add to basket. That's kind of also that. There was nothing there.
It's also, by the way, the amount of points you get is also, like, normally is less than what you would normally get with a Lego set for the same price.
I think that might be a US only thing, because I think in the UK it's like 1,000 something points.
No matter what.
So I think it's
like at that price.
Yeah.
Okay. I did it just to test today. I just wanted to be curious. So I found a couple Lego sets for the same price as the book, and I put them in my cart just to see what the points you would get. The Lego sets were the same. The book was 200 points less at the same price.
Yeah, it's £130 here. You get 1,040 points. I don't really know what the conversion is and points to price.
Yeah, you got 975 here.
Okay.
But the Lego sets were around the 1,100 something points if you went with the Lego version of it. So it was an interesting conversion that they were doing, where they were dropping the point for the points for the book down below that same price threshold for Lego set. That was fascinating. But
also, I remember on your live stream you said that you weren't getting a deal on the brickheads, the 5 for $50.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's 5 for £45. So, and then normally a tenner at a brickhead. So maybe you guys just need to come over to the UK.
Apparently so.
Start buying your leggy in the UK.
Apparently that's the case. And then poor Canada, they get screwed on everything.
I mean, it's Canada at the end of the day. We love you, but also it's Canada.
Poor Canada. Anyway, are you snagging any of these May 1st?
Probably not. No. I mean, I'm tempted with like the little Luke brickhead. That one is really cool. Big UCS sets and the hype around UCS sets never grasps my attention. I mean, it's just so out of my price range. I'm incredibly lucky to have the Lego that I do have, and like the only reason I have like the Daily Bugle, for example, is because it was gifted to me.
Mm-hmm.
Big sets, I don't own. I've never bought a big set. The most expensive set I think I ever bought was like maybe £110, and I think it was like a big city set or something like that. But I only got that because I was after the Bionicle promotion.
Mm.
So like that was like a special occasion sort of thing of being like, I really want this Bionicle gift with purchase. Otherwise, like I don't own a single modular. I don't anything like more than like £60 makes me uncomfortable to spend on myself when it comes to Lego. Like,
Well,
I very much do treat this like a luxury hobby. Like I've got a big backlog back down here, but the reason the backlog is a backlog is because I've been fortunate enough to form a community on Twitch where I don't have to be constantly building sets. I can take them apart, and I've gotten into doing mocks and experimenting with other kinds of content in like VR and video games and things like that as well. So that's the only reason the backlog exists to start with.
I don't, normally they would entice me with, for the UCS set with a GWP that, you can only get, those freaking lightsabers or whatever. But this year they're just doing the keychain thing. And I'm like, okay. Like,
the image they're using for the keychain and everything, I'm not going blind, am I? It looks like the lowest resolution JPEG ever.
It's a
like
style,
they've taken
but,
the image straight off the box by someone taking a photo of it with their iPhone, and it's not cropped it out properly. It looks so low resolution. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen it's a stylistic kind of choice there. I don't really agree with it, but but that again, I just like is it necessary to at that point? Like the other GWP that they're doing with those the clone cadets, the Camino set thing. I feel like I'm in the minority here. I'm really underwhelmed by that. Like the fact that it's like a little battle pack of those guys, like just doesn't do a whole lot for me. I'm not trying to army build here, so I don't really care. Like I don't need multiple versions of them.
That's why you don't care. You're not an army builder.
Yeah.
The hardcore Star Wars AFOLs that are out there, they are army builders. They go to Lego conventions, not to look at Lego, not to talk with people. They go there to try and find the deal on as many Clone Trooper minifigs as humanly possible to build the army to the exact specification that was supposedly it was in the movies. Like this was a battalion of 80 kajillion. They have to have 80 kajillion things to make sure that their Lego is accurate. Yeah. It's not made for a casual viewer. It's not at all.
I think, but that's my kind of where I'm at with this overall May 1st, release schedule is this is like the first time in a while where I've been going, I'm okay if I miss it. Like I'm okay if I get them, but I'm also okay if I miss everything. And I don't normally feel that way about Star Wars sets.
If only Brian was here. Like this is the stuff Brian has always been wanting to hear. Like, oh my God, you might not buy a Lego set. I feel like me and Brian sit in the same camp of like worst AFOLs ever. Big fans of Lego, big fans of what they do. We very rarely actually buy Lego. Whereas, I put you in the camp of excessive sets and a backlog where you've had to dedicate a room just to boxes of sets to build, of which you've probably lost count and lost track of what sets are at the back of that cupboard.
Oh, I haven't lost track because they're on a spreadsheet. I know exactly what I have.
You've gotten to the point where you have to start GUI decimal systeming your Lego sets. You've got a problem.
I've got a problem. I know I have a problem. I know I do. And part of it is the collector in me. And that, is something that we've been talking about all night tonight. And we've been talking about for a while now when it comes to Lego prices is the collectors out there that have gotten used to the collectability of Lego. It's hard to let it go. And Lego knows that. And they know that they're going to, kind of prey on that FOMO side of missing out on a particular, next part of that collection. And some of the sets just genuinely speak to me, and I'm genuinely excited about them, and I have a blast, absolutely blast building them. And then there's other ones that apply to a particular genre that I really, really love, like Marvel, that I'm on the fence about, X Mansion, that are a complete letdown and such a bummer, because of it. And I feel like they've lost trust there. But then they turn around and they give me something like the Milano, and that was absolutely beautiful. And it was a lovely set, and it was surprising. And I never expected to like it as well as I did and as much as I did. And that's what I want, man. I live for those. I live for those moments, and that's part of being a collector. It's why people go out and crack packs all day on Pokemon. They're looking for that one diamond in the rough thing that just shoots them over the moon, and they're so excited to get it and have it in their collection and show it off. And the nice thing about Lego is we can at least do something with it. It's not a card that we just sit and stare at. It's something that we can touch and play with and build and experience. And
only AFOLs played. If only AFOLs played.
Come on over to my house, Jake. I feel like with our Lego. Come on over, man.
Whoosh, whoosh,
we'll
whoosh.
whoosh the hell out of these sets, man. It's a blast.
I don't know. I really do feel like the collector side of the hobby has become, since lockdown, since COVID, I feel like it has increasingly become a self-destructing bubble. Like, it has become the thing that you must do. You must be a collector. If you're an adult, you must be, like, sets that are displayed. You must have your super cool collection behind you. And yes, I am aware that I have a collection of Lego behind me, but I'm also making content. I need an interesting background at the absolute minimum. That's the reason that stuff is up there in that kind of way. But you don't really hear, and I was at Brittatic this year displaying my latest mock, which was a fantasy forest with a portal where these minifigures had discovered this portal to a new dimension. And what I did is I stuck my iPad behind it, and I made an augmented reality filter on TikTok where if you looked through the filter, it turned you into a minifig with your face on it. The amount of AFOLs that come up to me and was like, I didn't realize people were still having fun with Lego. What do you mean? What? What do you mean? You didn't realize you could have fun with Lego? I haven't done anything. It's an iPad, mate. Calm yourself down. But it feels like there's a lost spirit. All the AFOLs talk about is I used to love Lego as a kid. I collect Lego now because it reminds me of my childhood. But why are you then stopping your childhood from playing with it? Enjoy it. It's a toy. Go throw it against a wall, rebuild it again, build it into something new. Go buy the city sets. Do you know how many awesome city sets there are?
Sure.
There are so many awesome city sets out there. But AFOLs don't go out and buy them because they're kids. It's a small truck, a road, and a half a building. It's like, yeah, but it's a truck and a road and half a building, and it's a whole world of invention. There's loads of little Easter eggs in there, and you've got characters, and they're telling this really cool story. But the AFOLs don't want to talk about the story. Don't want to have
adults want to be challenged a little bit more than what city sets offer. You make me an 18+ style city sets, which are basically the modulars, then it starts to scratch that itch a little bit more for adult fans.
That's what I mean. You have to be challenged in some capacity in what? In the amount of pieces you've got to build?
The complexity a little bit. You want to find, we went over this a lot with the Shire set recently, where it was a lovely set, and it went together very well. It was a neat set to build, but it went so fast and it was so expensive. By the time you're done, you're like, wait, what? Like it was a good book that you couldn't put down, but then it was done so fast that I didn't feel like you almost got your money's worth. I had to keep forgetting to remind myself to forget that what the price was, because it was happening so fast. It's like spending money for, your favorite, sports team in a playoffs, and you go and then they lose and you're like, oh, that sucks. I spent all that money on that, kind of thing.
I think the antidote is AFOL should expand their range. This week, don't go out and go buy this May the 1st. Don't go buy a big UCS Django Fett ship. Go and spend the same amount of money on all the sets that you as an 8-year-old would have loved. Go and buy the Ninjago with the spinners. Go and buy the city set with the cool looking truck. Go buy the plane. Go buy the Creator 3-in-1 set that your mum got you because that was good value to you, because she thought you were getting 3 Lego sets when in reality you're still only getting 1. Go get all that same sort of stuff. Sit there and build that. Because I think you will have the same amount of fun building those sets as you will building that one set that then is going to go sit dusty on a shelf.
Valid point.
That's my challenge to the AFOL community out there.
Valid point. Or just go buy a fun hole set.
Yeah, I suppose. Although they're not called Fun Hole anymore. They've changed their name.
They'll always be Fun Hole to me.
I kind of wish they never changed their name, because I love the idea of the Fun Hole ambassadors.
Listen, from, again, marketing hat on, you don't get much better. Like, it is a memorable name, man. That is a great name.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
So
fantastic.
Anyway, well, we've kept Jakey long enough, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Jake. Thanks again I'd buy Fun Hole merch. Exactly. Thank you for stepping in tonight. I appreciate you. You are welcome back anytime. Next time I will take the night off, and then you and Brian can do all this, and I'll just sit back and watch.
Oh man, if it was just me and Brian doing the show, you spend 20 minutes just us going, wait, who's introducing who? What we were supposed to say?
No.
What's this? Are we on? Are we live?
No. I was really sick one night, and he ran with the overall like major hosting duties of it. And,
yeah, Brian can host, but it's sticking me in the equation with Brian. I would just be there to bully Brian, and that's not what everyone wants.
No, I think everybody wants that.
Oh, okay.
I think everybody needs that, actually. Yeah.
No, okay.
But anyway, let's get some hearts and hypes in chat for Jakey Studs. He's an amazing human. We appreciate him. We love him. Go check him out on Twitch. You guys can catch me. I'll be back tomorrow over on Twitch. When are you live next?
I will be live this Sunday playing some Lego Fortnite. I'm also uploading those VODs onto my YouTube channel as well. If you want to sit there and listen to someone talk about nonsense and trying to figure out how to play Lego Fortnite, they're also on my YouTube channel too. But yeah, I'll be playing on Sunday. I can't remember what I did last time, but we're doing more of it.
Nice. Amazing. Go check him out, guys. Twitch.tv/Jakey Studs. Jake Studs. I call him Jakey. It's really Jake. Just go follow him there. He's got the same. He has all the cool stuff like I do. It's so much fun. It just works a lot better than mine. Well, I guess he's using the actual. Are you using the actual camera on your Mac? You're using your iPhone.
No, this is my iPhone.
Yeah. Mine goes.
Sorry, I mean cameraman Charlie.
But then it doesn't It takes a second for mine to click because it's using my other.
If
camera.
you do a lot of them, they eventually catch up to you, sort of thing.
Oh, do they? Oh, look at that. I can see. Love it. All right. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you all. We will see you guys next time. Bye.